we start today in Puerto Rico, where firefighters managed to extinguish a large fire at a supermarket in Guaynabo. Our Francis Felix has the story about what may have sparked this fire.
Firefighters and emergency management personnel fought a fire of great proportions in the retail and wholesale warehouse of G.F. Montalvo, located in the Amelia neighborhood in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. The incident began around 11 a.m. in the supermarket store. The fire was caused by a short circuit in some structures in the cargo area. The store had 26 employees, 3 of whom had to be rescued from the flames. These were butcher shop employees who took refuge in the refrigerators to safeguard their lives. However, they were rescued and received medical assistance. It isn't clear if the 2 women and 1 man suffered any type of burns, but it was indicated that they were affected emotionally and by the smoke. The fire was contained but destroyed much of the structure. State and municipal emergency management personnel from Cataño, Guaynabo, Bayamón, and Tuabaja also work on the scene. The store will be temporarily closed for 3 to 4 months due to the structural damage caused by the fire. Reporting from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.
All right, thanks so much, Francis. In the meantime, after several days of the Virgin Islands community paying their last respects, former VI Governor Charles Turnbull was laid to rest. Many people turned out for a candlelight vigil on Friday night at Emancipation Garden on St. Thomas to remember the 87-year-old, a servant leader who served as a teacher, administrator, and respected commissioner of education. He died on July 3rd, and hundreds of people also came out to pay their respects as Turnbull lay in state on all 3 islands. And on Saturday, he was laid to rest. Turnbull was born on St. Thomas and elected governor in 1999. He served 2 terms. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. thanked the Virgin Islands community for showing up to pay their respects and show Turnbull's family their support.
He was a giant of a man, and we will miss him dearly, but he was sent off in grand style that is required for his level of office and for his level of service to the people of the Virgin Islands. To his family, I hope that God grants you peace, knowing that he is someplace better today, doing what governors will in heaven.
In the meantime, in the Turks and Caicos, hundreds of thousands of COVID-19 vaccines could be tossed and wasted if islanders don't get their booster shots. Our One Caribbean News' Deandra Hamilton brings us the message from leaders in the TCI, along with the latest look at the numbers there.
In a matter of weeks, hundreds of thousands of COVID-19 vaccines in the Turks and Caicos Islands could be dumped if islanders don't get those booster shots.
Our facility in Providenciales actually expires at the end of September. We do know, especially coming on to back to school, maybe some persons traveled recently, we would strongly encourage to take this opportunity while you're doing your back to school shopping. Maybe it's time to get a back to school booster.
That was Deputy Chief Medical Officer of the TCI, Dr. Jeremy Myers. He was speaking at a recent press conference held to update the nation on COVID-19 and monkeypox. In speaking at the press conference also, Acting Minister of Health E.J. Saunders said the low booster uptake by islanders is putting the vaccine-driven herd immunity at risk. Overall in Turks and Caicos, over 20,000 people are fully vaccinated. However, only 7,272 individuals have gotten 1 booster shot, and 8% of the population have taken 2. Saunders encouraged islanders to get those boosters.
Where we need to be as a country, we need persons who have taken the booster to be up to where the herd immunity needs to be. So, and we need you to constantly be taking your booster. And that's the reason why you notice that COVID hasn't gone away in the Turks and Caicos. And the numbers that I showed earlier, that's the reason why we're still having active cases. And we're doing very badly as a country here with persons taking their booster.
He also urged unvaccinated individuals to get vaccinated.
Vulnerable persons should get vaccinated, and if you haven't gotten vaccinated, I would be surprised. So you definitely need to get vaccinated.
The first doses of COVID-19 vaccines arrived in the Turks and Caicos in January 2021, more than a year and a half ago. Deandra Hamilton reporting.
All right, thanks, DeAndre. Meantime, St. Kitts and Nevis' new Prime Minister, Dr. Terrence Drew, has lifted all COVID travel and health restrictions there. He said over the weekend that it was long past time for the restrictions that were imposed back in 2020 to contain the spread of COVID-19 be removed.
For many months, well before the election campaign began, I challenged the former government continuously to end the travel restrictions placed on our people that no longer had any scientific or medical merit. It was clear these restrictions were being used to oppress and suppress the will of you, the people. Why should citizens of this country have to seek permission to enter the land of their birth? That was wrong. That is wrong. Therefore, I have instructed that forthwith all COVID-19 related health and travel restrictions be removed. Our country is open for business. Let's get on with the business of building this nation.
Well, Prime Minister Drew made the announcement at the swearing-in ceremony of members of Parliament and the ministers in his cabinet at the Werner Park Cricket Stadium a week after his St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party won the August 5th general elections. He has taken on the responsibility for the Minister of Finance, National Security, Social Security, Citizenship by Investment Program, as well as the Ministry of Health. Geoffrey Hanley is Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Education, Youth and Minister of Social Development, Gender Affairs, and Aging and Disabilities. Former Prime Minister Denzil Douglas will serve as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Economic Development, International Trade, and Investment and Commerce. Prime Minister Drew is leading a 9-member cabinet.
It is now time to get to work to deliver results according to the agreed performance objectives and timelines. You are invited to hold us accountable for the good that we can and must do for you, the people.
In the meantime, when it comes to the tourism industry, American Airlines is making what they're calling proactive adjustments to their flight schedule. On Monday, an aviation analytics company says the airline will slash 31,000 flights in November. In a statement, American Airlines says the cuts are, quote, in line with our approach to network and schedule planning throughout the year. Chicago O'Hare and Dallas-Fort Worth will feel the cuts the most, as will Boston and Philadelphia. Just last week, the airline says it was cutting 2% of its September and October schedule. Now, America is not the only airline making changes. Both United and Delta have made some similar cuts. Staffing shortages, severe weather, and air traffic control delays have caused many airlines to struggle with flight cancellations and delays this summer.